Let's starts. Let's start the second lecture of embedded and real-time operating system, in which we are covering characteristics of embedded system, the challenges to develop the embedded system, and different processes used in embedded system. Let's start. Characteristics of embedded system. An embedded system is a software embedded into computer hardware that makes a system dedicated to be used for variety of application. This is one of the characteristic of embedded system. For what purpose we developed embedded system? We developed embedded system to embed the software into computer hardware that makes a dedicated system for specific use. Means first characteristics tells that embedded system is a specific task oriented system. It is a specific application. Second characteristics, embedded system generally used for to do specific tasks that provide real-time output on the basis of various characteristics of an embedded system. In first, we have seen it is specific one. The second characteristics is telling that it is worked for real-time output on the basis of various characteristics of embedded system. This characteristic of embedded system is very much important because by using the embedded system with the help of computer hardware, it gives the real-time output to us, to system, to application, and which is beneficial for some specific applications. If you want to see the one example, we know that at the time of satellite launching, or when the space agencies launch their satellite, at that time the response comes from the satellites, that is a real-time output, and which is useful to forecast the coming future predictions for the betterment of mankind on the earth. So in that case, the embedded systems used in that specific satellite launching task plays the important role. This is one example, and which is used in very large scale in NASA or in our ISRO. But if you want to see a small example, our washing machine or our air conditions is the best example to understand these characteristics, because our air conditions works according to the climatic conditions surrounded by that air conditions. If we set the air conditions according to the winter season, it works according to that winter season. What is that? It works according to the real-time output. This is very much important and a good characteristics provided by the embedded system to us nowadays. Third one, embedded system may contain a smaller part within a larger device that used for serving the more specific application to perform variety of tasks using hardware, software, intermixed configuration. Right? I am repeating it again. Embedded system may contain smaller part within a larger device that used for serving the more specific application to perform variety of tasks using hardware, software, intermixing configuration. Where this characteristic is telling that a smaller part within the larger device is used. Smaller part within the larger device is used. Means what? This embedded system is nothing but a small part which is mounted on large applications, and that the small part of which we named embedded system gives the output to that large system to work very smoothly. What is the example for this characteristic? The example for this characteristic we can use in nuclear power plant. We know that at certain level of temperature, the reactions happens in nuclear power plant. But how the large circuit or large software and hardware connections understand at what time the temperature should go off? To understand, to recognize it, a small kind of embedded system is mounted on that large hardware and software intermixed connections, and that a small specific task oriented embedded system gives the output, the real time output in a nuclear power plant, and according to that the large system works. If the temperature goes to the specific level, the reactions goes down, right? This is the one of the best example to understand. Next characteristic, it provides high reliability and real time computation ability. It provides high reliability and real time computation ability. Very good thing is mentioned over here, which is one of the characteristic of embedded system. It provides high reliability. The words are very big and very good. Embedded system is a high reliable system. Means what? We know that in real time systems, what we want real time data, and that real time data is very much crucial and important to do the processes in large systems. So in that case, the data should be a reliable one, right? And that from where it comes from the embedded system, right? For example, in smoke, if you have developed a smoke detection or a fire alarm system, smoke detection or a fire detection system in your company, in that case your embedded system should be high reliable. If it not works properly and the fires get you all, then it and our embedded system does, if it fails to give the real time output to the system, and if it fails to give the real time output to the system, what will happen? Everything will get destroyed, and that kind of demolition, that kind of loss is not acceptable to the large companies. So embedded system should be high reliable, right? This is the one example, smoke detection or fire detection in large companies, right? There are different examples we can suggest in the weather forecasting system. Our embedded system should be a clear cut and neat and accurate one in forecasting. If it gives the wrong data to the forecasting system, it will directly damage all the things which are dependent on forecasting system. Next, and real time computation ability means it should be high reliable. I have given 2-3 examples: smoke detection, fire alarm, and the system used in weather forecasting. And second part of this characteristic is real time computation ability. Embedded system should have a real time computation ability. Means we do not just want a static embedded system. Our embedded system should do the process of different activities, different figures, and it should provide accurate, efficient and effective output in real time manner. And nowadays embedded system providing this ability, real time computation ability. These are the majorly 4 mentioned characteristics of embedded system. If university asks the question about this, write down the characteristics of embedded system. You can mention this 4-1. I am repeat it again. Embedded system is software embedded into computer hardware and which is dedicated to be used for variety of application. Second, embedded system generally used for to do specific tasks. Third one, embedded system may contain smaller part within large device. And fourth one, it provides high reliability and real-time computation ability. These are the four major characteristics of embedded system. Uh, what is meant by characteristics? First of all, if I arise the question like this, how you will able to write the things? Characteristics means spatial ability of particular system. Characteristics means spatial ability of that particular system is termed as characteristics. And we are talking about embedded system, means what we have to write, a spatial ability of the embedded system, and that we have seen right now, up till now. Then the next thing which over here, if you are able to see some software interfaces, hardware interfaces, and visual aids and remarks regarding our embedded system with the help of example given here, right? For example, if we have to glow the LED, then software interface for this thing is driver for LED, and second interfacing of display diagram, right? This is hardware interface, and visual aid will be LED glowing on and off. This is the example with the help of characteristics I am trying to explain. Numbers of examples over here given. So for example, if we take a timer counter is one of the software required to develop embedded system. What is the hardware interface? Time initialization or counter initialization session which takes place in hardware. What will happen over here? Blinking of LED, and what we say for this, timer in cooling mode. These are the different things given over here. I will send this PDF or this Word file to you for your reference. Over here, if you see some advantages and disadvantages of embedded system. We have seen characteristics. Now advantages of embedded system. Same hardware can be used in variety of application. This is advantage. What is meant by advantage? Advantage means the things which gives the flexibility, the things which gives the additional value, things which reduces the complex efforts of any system, term, or we can count it in advantage. Over here in embedded system, same hardware can be used in variety of application. This is one of the best example. Lesser power requirement. Why the power less or power consumption is less? Because it is not general purpose operating system. It is not a large hardware and software combination. Embedded system means a specific task oriented system, so it requires very less power. This is one of the advantage. Then third one, lower operational cost of the system. The cost required to operate the embedded system is less, and this is a very good advantage because everything is comes around the cost, money, and the embedded system gives the solution to this a big problem. It requires a less amount of cost. Then next advantage, provide high performance and efficiency. Means what? What is meant by performance? What is meant by efficiency? Performance means it gives the fast output within a minimum time span, within minimum time span, and this is counted in performance of the system. What is meant by efficiency? Efficiency means it gives the accurate output in less time span. So this is why we count this thing as advantage of embedded system. It provides high performance and efficiency. Next thing, disadvantages. If there are advantages, it is relative terms. If there is advantages, absolutely there are some disadvantages also. Which are the disadvantages of the embedded system? This is the disadvantage. Developing a system requires more time due to functional complexity. To develop an embedded system requires more time. Why it requires more time? Because it is specific, a task oriented, a time bounded activity. So that's why it requires more time to develop. And because of mathematical computations are there, so it becomes complex. So that's why it requires more time again. The second, skilled engineers required, because one mistake may result in destroying complete project. This is the disadvantage of embedded system. It requires skilled labor. It requires skilled persons. Why the authors or the experts says this is a disadvantage? Because if you want to hire skilled persons, what they want higher package, right? And they are not ready to spend more time, right? So that's why the systems require skilled persons, skilled engineers. And why the skilled engineers required? Yes, two things that we have seen. And we want skilled engineers because we do not want to make any kind of mistakes over here while the execution of embedded system. Because one mistake may result in destroying of complete project, right? Consider if we are implementing this embedded system in nuclear power plant, and if the one mistake happens over here, what will happen? Everything will get burst, right? Everything will get destroyed. So that's why this is one of the disadvantage. This is the first topic that we have discussed. In first topic of this today's lecture, we have discussed characteristics, then second advantages and disadvantages of embedded system. Let's move towards a second part of embedded system. The different processors used in embedded system. Right. General purpose processor. General purpose processors are categorized into microprocessor, microcontroller, embedded processor, digital signal processors. These are the general purpose processors. These are the general purpose processors. Means what? If you want to develop a, suppose for example, a fire alarm system, we use a general microprocessor or microcontroller like what? Like Arduino Uno. What is that? This is general purpose processor. But if you want to develop a specific application, the microprocessor manufacturing companies develop a separate specific task oriented that applications require. By checking that application requirement, they develop the separate one. So that's why over here called as general purpose processors. These are the types of various processor. First, general purpose processor, and I have given the example Arduino Uno is the general purpose processor. Then second, application specific processor. The term which is mentioned in short form ASSP, application specific system processor. Keep in mind these terms. If you want to do your career in embedded system. Such kinds of short forms over here you will face. ASSP, application specific system processor, multiprocessor system using GPP. What is meant by GPP? General purpose processor. Within a short time we are going to see definition of microprocessor. A microprocessor is a single chip semiconductor device, also which is computer on chip but not a complete computer. What is microprocessor? It is a single chip semiconductor device and it is not a whole computer, right? It is not a whole computer. Then next thing, microcontroller. We have seen up till now types of processor, general purpose processors, right? Second one, ASSP, application specific system processor, and then last one, a specific processors used by GPP, right? And we have seen definition of microprocessor. Microprocessor is nothing but a single chip. It is not whole computer and it is a semiconductor chip, right? Semiconductor chip. What is the characteristic of semiconductor? If I ask to you, is anyone from your side, don't search it on internet. What is semiconductor? I have used a semiconductor chip. What it means? Semiconductor. What is the main characteristic of semiconductor? Please do search it. That's why the material which shows the characteristics. So that's why semiconductor material is used to develop a chip. Then next, microcontroller. What is microcontroller? These are the two terms, microprocessor and microcontroller. Microcontroller is a functional computer system on a chip, right? Microprocessor processes the different processes. And microcontroller is a functional computer system on chip. It contains processor, memory, and programmable input-output peripherals. A single chip which contains processor as well as memory and as well as programmable input-output peripherals, right? Microcontroller includes integrated CPU, memory and peripherals capable of input and output. Before to see this page, if I ask to you, do you know the names of microprocessors? Yes, Prachi, Shraddha, Bhushan, Aarti, Devendra, Divya, Dhaneshwari, Gaurav, Harshali, Akanksha, Anand. Anand is there? Very good. Anand is there. Very good. But I think he just placed the Akash Khatri left. Anand is there. He just started the meeting and he went to somewhere in Bazaar. No matter. Microprocessor. Tell me the name of microprocessor. Any microprocessor. I think only Prachi is there. Prachi? Prachi?
Yes, sir.
Very good. You are doing your work and still, okay, you are all doing your work but still listening my voice. Very good. I appreciate you all. Okay. Pentium? Pentium processor, right? This Pentium processor, Pentium 1, Pentium 2, Pentium 3, Pentium 4, i3, i5, i7, What is that? These are microprocessors, right? These are the microprocessor. These are not microcontrollers. Microcontrollers are which controls the functions. Microcontroller which controls the functions, which controls the different operations. Microcontroller controls the different activity. For example, if we say the temperature level 25 degrees Celsius, our system should get off at that temperature level. If we provide this instruction to our microcontroller or our chip, automatically microcontroller controls the function and it works according to that instruction. At the level of 25 degree Celsius, it turns off the system, it turns off the washing machine, it turns off the air conditions. What is that? It means it controls the operations. So that's why called as microcontroller. This is the basic difference between microcontroller and microprocessor. We have seen the examples of microprocessors. Over here the examples of microcontroller. Intel launched the microprocessors like over here 8031, 8032, 8051, 8052, 8751, 8752. Right? These are the what do you think? If I ask Devendra or Divya, if Divya is there, why 8031? Why not 5091? Have you ever think on that? Divya?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Are you Divya?
Yes, sir.
Very good. No problem. Divya, 8031. Why such naming system? Okay. Don't give me the answer. I want to share one thing with you. In mechanical engineering, we know that there are names of the trucks are like 407. Anand Ghorpade, you might be aware about this. ए बाबा टेम्पो करायचा 407, right? What is mean by 407, right? Then 1612, right? Truck. What is that? This 407 means 4 HP motor or 4 HP engine, and that truck carries the load up to 7 ton. That's why the Tata Motors gives the name to that vehicle 407. Means some specific characteristics that digit shows. That's why the company assigns the name to that particular product. Over here also the same thing. Some particular characteristics it shows with respect to that figure. That's why they shown or they have assigned such names. Over here Intel also launched this series of microcontrollers. Now over here three companies, names of three companies you can see. Intel, which develops or manufactures the microcontrollers, Intel. Do you know the punchline of Intel? If I will give you a chocolate when the actual college will start, if anybody from your side within a 5 seconds, the punchline of Intel, Gaurav Patil, Harshali Nikum, out of syllabus, out of the box, I am asking this question.
Inspired by you, sir.
Yes, very good. And do you know the tone, music tone?
No, sir.
It's like this, ting, 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 right? Like this, huh? Okay. That is not our part of syllabus. But we have seen the many times the advertisement of Intel. But have you seen the advertisement of PIC? No. This is new to us. Not only Intel in the market which produces the microcontroller and microprocessor. i7 is the microprocessor produced by Intel, not by PIC. Here we can see three companies: Intel, PIC, and Motorola. PIC launches 8-bit PIC 16 microcontroller, PIC 18 microcontroller, 16-bit DS PIC 33 microcontroller, and DS PIC 24 microcontroller. PIC 16C7X microcontroller. These are the different microcontrollers launched by the PIC, and Motorola launches their own microcontroller MC68HC11. Right? Have you seen the mobile phones of Motorola? The Motorola is originally from which country? Nanishwari? Nanishwari is there? Okay, Motorola is from United States of America, and it is a totally different mobile phone than the Apple, than the right. Why this difference? Because Motorola developed their own microcontroller, microprocessor. That's why they developed their own system. These are the some various examples given of microcontrollers: Intel, PIC, and Motorola. Alright, this is the difference given between microcontroller and microprocessor. The first one, the functional blocks are ALU, registers, timing, and control units. Against the microcontroller includes functional blocks of microprocessors, and in addition has timer, parallel input-output, RAM, EEPROM, ADC, and DAC. Right? Then bit handling instruction is less, one or two type only in microprocessor. Many type of bit handling instruction. Right? These are the some difference between microcontroller and microprocessor. What is meant by ADC? It is analog to digital converter and digital to analog converter. The acronyms used in microcontroller difference. Embedded processors. Up till now we have seen types of processors. Then the basic difference between microcontroller and microprocessor. Companies nowadays in market which manufacturing the processors and microcontrollers that we have seen. A difference between microcontroller and microprocessor that we have seen. Now we want to see company directly launches their specific embedded processors, special microprocessors and microcontrollers launched by the company, and the examples are ARM7, Intel i960, AMD 29050. These are the special purpose embedded processors launched by the different microcontroller and microprocessor manufacturing companies. ARM7. Most of the time, if you ask to the electronics or electronics and telecommunication engineers, students, they might have knowledge about this ARM processors. What is full form of ARM? Advanced RISC machine. Advanced RISC machine. The full form of ARM means in very high, where the very high performance and the complexity of the operations are very high. Over here, ARM7 or ARM9 processor for microcontrollers company uses, right? This is about information of different processors. And third topic, that is challenges in development of embedded system. Which are the challenges? Before to start this, I want to repeat it. We have seen characteristics, advantage and disadvantage. Number 2, we have seen different types of processors and controllers and their companies and specific embedded processors and controllers. Third topic, that is our part of our today's lecture, that is challenges. Means to develop the embedded system, it is not a simple task. Some challenges comes into the road in the development of embedded system. Amount and type of hardware needed. Optimizing the microprocessor, ASICs and single purpose processors in the system, optimizing according to the performance, power dissipation, cost and other design metrics in the system. What these two things are telling to us? These two things are telling to us that to optimize the whole system with respect to microprocessor means we have to optimize microprocessor also. We have to optimize power dissipation also. We have to optimize cost or the design metrics of the system also. And this is one of the biggest challenge or the development of embedded system development. Optimizing the power dissipation. In optimizing power dissipation, what we have to take into account? That is a challenge. Clock rate reduction, operating voltage reduction. These are the major things over there in optimizing the power dissipation. Clock rate reduction. If the clock used in the system, the speed of the clock rate is very high, then it obviously it requires more energy, and that more energy means what? Our system consuming more power, and more power means what? It directly proportional to the performance factor of the embedded system. So this voltage and clock rate is very much important regarding optimizing the power dissipation. Alright, disable use of certain structural unit of the processor to reduce power dissipation. Cache, control of power requirement, for example by screen auto brightness control. These are the things that we always seen in our mobile phones. What is mobile phone? It is a one kind of embedded system, right? In general purpose computer system, such facilities are not there, but in mobile system, to avoid power dissipation, optimize power dissipation, this system works. Cache when not necessary, right? Or power control by screen auto brightness control, right? This is one of the challenge against the embedded system development, right? Process deadline means what? Our embedded system should follow process deadline. This is one of the great challenge ahead embedded system development. Then flexibility and upgradability means our embedded system should be flexible, right? Means no matter who is using that embedded system, means what? It should be flexible. No matter at what time and in what environment you are using. What is that? That is flexibility. Number 3, no matter what kind of input it is taking, it should give the correct output. What is that? That is flexibility. Means embedded system should be a flexible one, and this is the great challenge against the development of embedded system. Upgradability means if we have developed embedded system and after that is the condition like this, there is no need of upgradation. No. In coming next page, may sometimes obstacles or interrupts occurs, and that obstacles and interrupts are, suppose they are new to the system. In that case, there should be a space to the embedded system to upgrade it. So upgradability is also a challenge. Then reliability is the challenge. Designing reliable product by appropriate design and thorough testing, verification, validation is a challenge. Means what is reliability? Reliability is absolute testing. Reliability is absolute verification. Right? Reliability is what? It is absolute validation. Through validation, through verification, through testing, when the product comes out from the company, that we can say it is reliable. So reliability is also a major challenge. There are numbers of different challenges given over here again. I am going to share all this material to you through the Google Classroom. Up till now we have seen all these things that we have committed early in the beginning of the lecture. That is, we are going to see the challenges of the embedded system, then the characteristics of the embedded system and the different processes used in the embedded system. And we have seen somewhat understandable things through this lecture, and I hope you have understand at least something which is required to you at your level. Okay. Uh, Thank you for this session. Today we are winding up this lecture. We will see our next task, our next topics on the next lecture. You can see all this study material on your Google Classroom. Okay, we will meet tomorrow. Till then, thank you.